tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. We're here during another AfterBuzz TV after show for Disney's Girl Meets World Season 1, Episode 10, Girl Meets Crazy Hat. I'm your host, Kristen Elizabeth Snyder, and joining me, AfterBuzz TV host Lee Epstein.
Hey guys, hey Kristen.
Who just got off a plane. Thanks for joining us.
I did.
Lee.
I just stumbled off a plane
they
right into the studio.
They dropped him off here at the studios.
Yeah. From the plane
stop.
to the helicopter to the studio. Of course, yeah.
So this episode, I'm so glad that Jack A is back.
Jack A. Harry.
As Evelyn Rand.
Man, this show is just like feeding all of our 90s, like reliving our adolescence, you know, like
sister, yeah. I love her character. And it's funny because in the pilot, it kind of looked like she was, you know, this woman who maybe like worked in a hotel or waitress or something. It seemed like she had like a social or not like a physical labor job, right?
Right.
Because she was always like, can I have this seat or whatever?
We only saw her on the subway, right?
Only the subway,
yeah.
But she was like, I loved her character in the pilot, and so I'm glad they brought her back. And it
we didn't know she was going to come back in the
Right.
pilot. You thought it was just like a random one-time thing. You weren't really sure. We haven't seen her since then.
Right, but it goes along, her being in there goes right along with, you know, the entire episode, and that, you know, things aren't always what they seem, really.
Exactly.
You know, because it seemed like she had this sort of labor job, but actually she owns this building, and she is a huge investor, and it helps the girls out this episode.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously she doesn't fit the type, the mold, you know, and they've kind of a little bit misled us, but there are people like that, and that's kind of the point. It's like you really can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, and she is Crazy Hat. Girl Meets Crazy Hat is Jack A's character. And, you know, they're even afraid to, like, sit by her at first. And then, like, the security guard or whatever verifies for them that cop,
it's fine. Yeah, the cop. But, you know, they're giving her their money, and they feel bad for her like she's a homeless person. And it turns out, you know, it comes full circle in the end. So you never know who you're helping.
You don't.
And this episode, they learn about business. And I loved it because, you know, we've got Lucas and Maya with the company that's selling the healthy muffins, the all-natural, organic, which are very pricey. He owes his mother back $100 for them making these healthy muffins. And then the company that's selling all their muffins is Farkle, who is basically just pouring sugar into the muffin
I mean, he's
cups.
selling cupcakes, okay? They're cupcakes.
Yeah.
He's just calling them muffins, but they're definitely cupcakes. We were just actually talking about this morning. My friend picked me up from the airport, and he brought a box of donuts, and he said, you know, the donut lobby was so powerful to convince Americans that this is a breakfast food. It's just a pure dessert. You know, that's like what they're selling. It's kind of crazy that people eat donuts like... It's you know, no one eats like cake and pie for breakfast, but donuts we have totally bought into the fact are like a breakfast food.
Totally not cake.
Right. It's actually fried cake. It's even worse. But yeah, so they're selling. I know. So they're selling basically cupcakes, and it's working. And you know, Maya and Lucas are trying to have integrity in their business and give a good, healthy product and be honest. And Farkle and Riley are being more kind of shady about their whole thing and getting people hooked.
And Riley didn't know, to be fair. But yeah, it's that addiction, all that sugar. And those are normally the products that we buy into and that make all the money. And that's why the healthy food costs so much because, you know. So I like how we get that line that people don't always know what's good for them. And that's pretty much the case. I mean, we see this everywhere. Even Jack A's character said, you know, I see people walk down here and give their lives away to fake companies. And that's sort of what, you know, Farkle's company is. It's great for making money and profits, but not for really giving people what they need nutritiously. They're not getting what they need. And so they did the merger with Lucas's company, and then they did fires. It was nice to sort of get, you know, people who normally watch the show, I don't think that they know that much about the business world, so it was nice that they sort of
I was
learned
thinking
that as well.
Right, like all of these episodes have some sort of, you know, lesson teaching point. And I'd say in this episode, a lot of that was about ethics in business, which is, when you think about it, a pretty, you know, mature adult concept for a Disney Channel show that's aimed like mostly at younger people. And that the show is able, by putting it in terms of the, you know, a kid's business, and the characters are kids and they're in class, it was able to address a pretty, what is generally an adult issue of like ethics in business and, you know, and being honest and having integrity in trade and everything. I will say, I actually was at the taping of this episode. This is the episode that I was in the studio for. And so I have a little behind the scenes story.
Oh, we're excited.
In the few minutes that we have left.
Please share.
Okay, so you know the part where it's just a little slapstick humor, but just to give you some appreciation of how much it takes to make one little tiny episode or one little scene in an episode of a show. So the part where Maya gets hit with the muffin, you know, she throws the muffin into the class, and then you see the shot of Maya, and then the muffin comes and hits her back in the head, right? So they must have shot that scene a dozen times. They're like shooting and shooting and shooting, and the muffin just will not land in the right spot. So like what happens is, like, let's say you're Maya and I'm the prop guy off stage, right? So we're just gonna see Maya. So I'm over here and I'm trying to hit you in the head with a muffin, but I keep missing.
Did they switch out the prop guy?
Well, that's a great question. This is not planned. Not planned. I don't have any idea what camera we're on, but this was not planned for you to ask me that. But good question, Kristen.
Thank you.
Funny answer. There was a New York Mets baseball player.
No.
Yes. Visiting the set by coincidence, like he knows someone on the show. And then Michael on the set says, wait, I got an idea. And he calls in this New York Mets MLB professional baseball pitcher.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this guy does not need to like pitch the muffin. He's maybe 3 feet away from the girl and needs to toss it gently. But in one shot with perfect aim, this professional baseball pitcher, major leaguer, tossed the muffin and hit Maya right in the head. Yeah, first take. It was amazing. It was like, okay, now we can move on. It was great.
That's such a great story. You don't know what his name was?
No, I tried to look it up, but he's a backup pitcher, I think, or maybe he's a first baseman. Now that I think about it, I kept saying pitcher, but I'm gonna find out who. I don't know. I mean, it was like he just happened to be there visiting someone else.
What are the chances? That's fantastic.
It's crazy. If you know who I'm talking about, or you are said pitcher or first baseman,
of course he's watching our show.
Please tweet at us. Yes, I'm sure you are.
Oh, so I like that part where they're in the subway and they're trying to figure out what people need, and Jack A is like, it turns out that other people are actually the key to your happiness, thinking about what you can do for them, filling their needs. So they look around and they realize, you know, that everyone's getting wet, and so they decide the umbrella idea, which I thought was great. Like, do you think New York would adopt that?
As someone who lived there for many years, I will say no. But I do think, I mean, look, you know what? They are adopting City Bike. I mean, it's not quite as altruistic.
I saw that
it's not
when I was
free.
there.
But the idea of, you know, of kind of leaving something, kind of take one and leave one, is catching on in a lot of cities. Pennies.
It works with pennies, except for the penny tray is always kind of like empty. I'm not sure if it works.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes that works. Well, the thing with umbrellas is this. Like, we don't really get it living in LA, but having lived in New York City and done this whole rainy day in the subway thing, I will tell you, it actually, it's not a coincidence that they picked, especially, you know, knowing these writers who are from the New York area, writing about the umbrella idea, because when it all of a sudden pours in New York City, and or anywhere for that matter, but especially in New York City where most people don't have a car, and you don't have an umbrella, you're stuck. You're like, oh, you know, it starts raining. You can't just run into your car. You have nowhere to go. So then you have to go into the subway, and everyone's like soaked. And then when it's really windy, you have the umbrella, and you're walking, and the umbrella like blows inside out, and it's broken. So there are all these people always selling umbrellas, and they're totally ripping you off because
like $50 umbrellas.
Yeah, because they're cheap. They're cheap, crummy umbrellas, but they know that you need it, so that, you know. So I think it would be a lovely idea, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, well.
But we can live in the realm of Disney fantasy.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, guys, I just want to remind you that you can download our show, rate, subscribe. It all helps on YouTube and iTunes. And we do have a weekly time now. We're going to be
a bi-weekly time.
A bi-weekly time. Because the show's only 20 minutes, we're going to do 2 10-minute to 15-minute shows for you every other Monday. So
every other Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
You got it.
Live on AfterBuzzTV.com, and you can always watch us, of course, on YouTube as well.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys want to stay tuned, we're going to be recapping episode 11 next. You can follow me at Cinematic Escape on Twitter.
And you can follow me at Lee M. Epstein. Look to see you guys online. Thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.